You're already fucked up!
Yo, what is going on, Full Heel Podcast? I am your host, Rafael Chaidez, the host of the Full Heel Podcast. Joining me today, once again, all the way from, I guess not across the pond, but from across the imaginary border, Ryan. What's going on, Ryan?
There's the Detroit River in between us. We can use that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. I felt kind of disrespected when I crossed it that one time. You guys have the beautiful part of the river, and we have the shitty part of the United States.
I don't know. I remember growing up when I was down in Windsor. It always seemed like our part of the river was green, and then there's you almost see it transitioning into blue as it got closer to the States. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Maybe it's just as you perceive it.
I don't know. On our side, it was super like industry, factory, gray roads, I see. And then right across the border is like nice park stuff. Yeah, Ontario. Maybe they do that on purpose. Could be a tactic.
We changed it up. Now we just put the right there.
So I want to give a big shout outs to Ryan for helping me out every so often doing these podcasts, going back and watching old school wrestling. Today we're going to cover Wrestlemania 36.
Wrestling.
So join us. If you guys didn't see that, there's going to be spoilers. WrestleMania 36, right?
Yeah, 36.
So there will be spoilers.
Although, I guess, is this like 36 and a half? Or?
Yeah, I guess you would be right?
Because it's only partway done.
Yeah, it's only halfway done. Before we get into it, how been Ryan? How's this whole quarantine situation treating you?
Well, I don't know if we touched on it last time. I don't know when I exactly found the news up, but my job from we'll see when we reopen to we're never reopen.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there, but it's life, whatever. I've been there almost 7 years, so it's probably time to slowly move on to something different. But it sucks. It was like 5 minute walk to work, and then I would either be done 6 at night or 1 in the afternoon. So I got like tons of time with kids and that. So now it's kind of tricky trying to find a job that will accommodate that kind of stuff, obviously. But life is what you make of it, right? So I can sit back and binge clean, or I can roll with the punches as they come and make the best out of bad situations.
That's what's up, Ryan. That's all you can do, right?
That's it.
You gonna start slinging bread?
I'm hoping that once everything starts getting a little normal, that Facebook page I go, and hopefully that kicks off, and I can start something small there, and then maybe get bigger, and hopefully make some kind of side profits going until I can see what happens. I mean, I'm expecting a lot of businesses to go down, so maybe who knows if I put my cards right, maybe look into getting an investment loan. Or a business loan, I should say, and starting something small up, maybe get a small rental space, and who knows? It's I got 4 to 6 months of no work to deal with all that stuff right now. So
a lot of the people, though, so that's the advantage, I guess.
It's just really right for us. It's we're on.
People don't want to fucking listen. New York, especially, they're like, yeah, whatever, we're gonna do whatever we want. So they're just going outside getting infected.
Yeah, I saw like everyone shared like a map of the United States and had like the hots of where people are. Like I guess they're using Google tracking kind of thing through cell phones. Yeah. And it shows like everywhere by the Great Lakes is all white, and then when you get to the Midwest and down towards the south, Texas, California, New York, the East Coast, just like red, because everyone's just whatever. Don't gotta work, let's go party. It's like all right, but it's a strange times.
Yeah, pretty strange times right now.
And that's the thing. I think like I tried watching WrestleMania last night with expecting it to be shitty, but also trying to look at it as, hey, when was the last time I watched like something like a live sporting event that's not like a Raw or SmackDown, like something big, like a pay-per-view for UFC or a pay-per-view for WWE in comparison to like a hockey game, a baseball game, a basketball, anything like that. Like it's been 20 odd days since we've had really any sports at all. So like this was something big. It was like it was 3 hours of distraction, which it was nice to just let your mind slip away and just it wasn't the best product, but it was something that we could have had, we could not have had also. So
Yeah, it was a nice little distraction away from everything. I sent you the Kardashians fighting today out
yeah,
of
I
out of pure confusion. I saw fights and I'm like, hey, we got ourselves a main event here.
My first thought was you sent me the Kardashians, and then you said UFC 249 is saved, and I was like, oh, did he send me something like the wrong video, or did he not? Is there a link he's gonna send? And that's what I was like, I don't get it. Like, what's going on with the Kardashians? Like, what's? And then I was like, oh, now I got him. Like, once you explained it to me, I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes much better sense. But
yeah, I was trying to be funny. Failed attempt, Ryan. You made me feel like an idiot. You made
to be fair,
you made me think that you thought that I was a fan of the Kardashians, and I'm like, this son of a bitch. I'm gonna kick his ass.
well, what's funny is that was like the first time I've ever watched anything of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Was that little like 30, 45-second clip? So, to be fair, I went into that thing and like, what is this? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they're going at it. The two smaller ones, the big one's in the middle, the fat one.
Yeah, whichever one was walking away in the black dress, I wasn't mad at.
I need some better technique, but it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's good. In time.
So, if you guys are joining us, you can see that I have come across some new technology. Shout outs to Jesus. He donated a computer to Full Heel Podcast Studios.
There we go.
I'm still looking into building a computer of my own to have a crazy mass support unit to do whatever I want. But this is more than welcome right now. My computer was dying, and it's not dying so much anymore. Jesus gave it a he took it off of life support, and it's deet. We're steady. We're opening up the eyes, As you guys can see, I'm able to split up the cameras now. I'm able to add an NDI source. The computer's able to process it fine. The camera seemed to not be crashing. If you guys were listening to the first 5 minutes and you heard a lot of echo, my bad. Sorry, I fixed it. It's because your audio was coming in through 3 different spots because of the NDI source. So you can actually just pick up the NDI audio, which is cool. I need to learn how to separate the NDI audio from the desktop audio. That way I can feed in stuff over you talking over a different channel. That way it's not on the same channel. Because the NDI source has a channel now. And I guess it has me as an NDI source on there as well. I think I could just remove it too. And just leave one. So. But it's all good now. It was only the first 5 minutes. It's all fixed now. With new technology comes new stuff I can do and new learning curve. So this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna learn some more stuff with this, some more shit I can do with this. Like I'm gonna try my HD Elgato card, Elgato capture card. That's to capture all your gaming stuff. I have 2 different capture cards. One's to capture old stuff, and now I'm kind of not worried about it not being able to handle it. I was before. I have a YouTube set up. I can just set up a Twitch real quick, though, too. I think I should do that. And I could upload both, because now people do both video and their gaming. But I think I should probably just do gaming and upload some. I don't know. Maybe I'll do gaming on both, but just keep the Twitch strictly to gaming. But it kind of, the more content you have out there, the better. On the more platforms. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This past month is probably the highest month of downloads ever in the show's history. There's not a lot for, being a small show, but for being the show's history, It's a lot to me, and it means a lot. And I want to thank everyone and anyone that downloaded, shared the podcast, helped me with the podcast, which includes you guys, Ryan, and all my buddies helping me make this. I just found other avenues of advertising it, I guess. Yeah, just different ways of sharing it. So I guess it gets more eyes, and it's on different algorithms, and it's really helped out. So this month seems to be going very on the same track, maybe even beating this month. But yeah, it seems like you got to make the best of what you got, and 2020 is kind of hitting us in the nuts real quick, and mhm, mhm, uh, mhm. And there's a lot of these people that are starting a podcast now because they lost their jobs and everything, and they're just learning about podcasts. And fuck them. We're going on our 4th year, all right? Subscribe to this podcast, share this podcast, go backlog this podcast. All the episodes are there for free. If you miss old school Wrestlemanias, me and Ryan have done a bunch of them. I've shared a couple of them on Twitter. Actually, Ryan, if you could share the ones on Twitter, I share a lot on Twitter because Twitter, I guess, is the main. I thought you had one. Oh no, it's Instagram, right? That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had to get it because of the podcast. So I got it because of the podcast. So what I do is I share it to Twitter, and Twitter kind of shares it out, or whatever I share on other platforms shares to Twitter, and that way it shares out too. And then I guess more people share it, the more I see it because it's different algorithms. I'm trying to see if Frankie's gonna make a Twitter too for either himself or for Football on Full Heel. Um, I should probably make a personal one for me, and then have this one as well. That way I can share both of them, like on two different platforms, and have it. Yeah, 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 two different algorithms, double the shares. Um,
Here, and they just keep rolling with it, right? So
yeah, I'm playing with new features too. I can fade the camera to where me and you are faded on top of each other, which is kind of weird, but I could do that if I wanted to. So watch out,
watch
YouTube
out.
world. We're coming for you. Yeah. No, like I said, me and Ryan have been doing this for a while now. Well, he's been helping me out for a while. I've been doing this for, like I said, going on 4 years. So Ryan probably even longer because he was with Average. Well, you weren't with Average Joe since the beginning, right? Mm-hmm.
Somehow just became a weekly, bi-weekly kind of thing.
Nice, nice. Um, yeah. So shout outs to Blake. I haven't talked to Blake in a hot minute.
I usually hit him up there when there's a big fight, like big boxing fight going on. We usually talk a little bit there and there. I hit him up around the Deontay Wilder Fury 2 fight. I talked to him a bit then, but that was about it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at tech stuff for this. You need to be able to know which one your NDI source is. Oh, okay, that's your NDI source. What number? Number 3. Okay. Yeah, because I'm going to have to figure all this stuff out, because if I don't have it on the right camera, it's silent because it's not picking up the NDI source.
Right. Then you end up with the situation that we had this when I first came on, and you're talking, and I tried talking. You're like, Ryan, I got nothing. I don't hear you.
No, we're good now. That's why I have the other earpiece. Just making sure that both of us are heard right, because it was echoing in the beginning, like I said. But no, it seems to be fine. I'll get it, guys. Don't worry. Let's see Ryan say something in this one.
Yo, what's going on, Full Hill Network?
Yeah, we're live, but you guys have to
bear
with us.
It's a new computer for you. It's training wheels, right? Eventually, you take them off, and you'll be hitting the ramps no time.
Yeah. What he said. Yeah, but no, this is definitely interesting with the new computer. I'm gonna be able to do a lot more. Let's see if I can get some cooking out of the way today. See if I can't record anything or just mess around with the capture card. Yeah, it is yours. It should be fine.
And there's your next segment, Full Heel Keto Cooking.
Yeah, well, I need to get some nice cameras.
Yeah, that. Well, you got that.
Yeah. That might go into a full new system though. That's fine. I'll just leave it on that camera then. I'll figure it out later. That might go into a whole new system though. This computer's good, but like I said, I want to do a lot more stuff. I was looking at soundboards and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
And that have like
we'll be talking and you'll start hitting buttons. You'll be like,
yeah, exactly. Well, it does have it does have those kind of inputs. And literally, I can record anywhere I go. I just have to have my mics and that little soundboard, and I wouldn't necessarily have it connected to the computer. It always helps because I could do so much more. But if I just wanted to record and have already the presets that are on that I had from the last time, it's got an SD card on there, and I would be able to record anywhere and at any time. And then I could come home and edit it on the computer, or just find the spot to upload it, and I'd be good. And I could pretty much take my podcasting anywhere.
That's all right.
Start charging people.
Yeah, because that would give you something to do. Like once everything kind of here, or not here, just around the world blows over, it'd be kind of cool to just you're checking out to say like you go to like some microbrewery or something. You just sit down. You just want to start shooting the breeze on something. Like you see people doing that all the time nowadays. Just plopped on a microphone, just sit in a corner and talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, because in these hard times, I wouldn't mind getting this fucking podcast monetized. Like I said, I'm going on 4 years. It'd be awesome to have this podcast monetized, be able to help Ryan out.
I find it funny though when you say hard times because you didn't do it in the proper fashion.
But that would be awesome, man. I wish this podcast would bring in some fucking money, but for now, it's just a hobby between buddies. Share the podcast. Not you, Ryan. Well, yeah, you too, Ryan. But everyone listening,
I do it all the time.
Share the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave a review on iTunes. That'll really help out the podcast, and it'll help more people see it. And that's really what matters. It's the free podcast we're trying to entertain you guys with. Just talking old school wrestling, trying to make stupid jokes, current wrestling, which we should probably get into sooner rather than later. So Corona Mania 36. For those of you guys that live under a rock, COVID-19 has kind of stopped all sports. We kind of mentioned it, or Ryan mentioned it earlier. There's no fights. There's nothing going on. So there's no crowd. So this is a very weird Wrestlemania. It was supposed to be in Tampa Bay with a ship in the stadium.
Yeah, like the Raymond James thing. They're going to have the huge pirate theme. They're really going to work on that.
What sucks is Kairi Sane is the pirate princess. So they were going to be able to have some kind of awesome...
well,
like pirate
You saw
thing?
it. You saw it in her entrance. Like she had like the little hat. Like, she kind of had like a little. You can kind of see. You could see with what they did last night, what they wanted to do on a smaller scale. Like you could kind of see where they were going to go. Um, yeah, it's just it sucked. Like because it could have been so much better, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess I mean, what can you do, right? Like I was watching last night thinking, what would have been really fun is if they had done something like from people all across the world that had corona and were potentially on the mend, have all of them there and just be like, hey, there you go, because now you can't get it, you already got it. But whatever.
You
What?
horrible man.
What? No, I'm saying like if you already have it, I mean, I mean, I guess the competitors like you're putting those people at risk, but I mean, like there's so many cases already. I mean, but
How's Canada been doing?
I'm guessing. Actually, I just saw a thing where 25 people died today in Ontario. Yeah, 400 more cases.
You said around the lakes, it's pretty calm, right? Like people around the Great Lakes are kind of taking it serious.
Yeah, I don't know how they show it in the States, but for here in Canada, they do like I don't get updates really for like I can find them, but whenever I get an alert, it's just by province. So it'll just say like Ontario has this and that's it. So I don't know how many cases exactly across the country. I know that the premier of Ontario yesterday was saying that they're expecting 15,000 deaths. Now that's the number that they're expecting to end up with. So, I mean, for all the people that are keep on saying like, oh, it's only like what, like 0.001% of the population, like that's true, but it's still 15,000 potential people that are going to die that would not have died if this had never happened. So it is. I mean, it's still a shitload of people.
Yeah, I like that stat that you were kind of the graph that you kind of were talking about because it seems like Chicago is kind of trying to take it serious. Illinois, for the most part, is trying to take it serious. Governor Pritzker, or however you pronounce his name, he's actually been doing pretty good for Chicago. Lightfoot as well. They've shown that they're fighting for Chicago, even if our federal government doesn't give a shit or they're not ready to deal with this. So Chicago was like, fuck that, you guys aren't going to help. We're going to help ourselves and we're going to do everything possible that we can in order to curb this this pandemic in our state at least. And it seems like a lot of states have followed suit. They've taken what we've done.
You can see who's serious and who's not because a week or two ago when it said they're expecting it to go Detroit get hit hard, Chicago to get hit hard, and then go down towards like New Orleans and down in the south. They're warning you, so it's not like you wake up one morning and it's like the opening scene of Dawn of the Dead, where there's a girl standing at the foot of your bed with blood dripping down her face, and like, what the fuck's going on? Like they're telling you, they're giving you a warning, like get inside before this happens. So they're trying to like give you the precautionary measures. So it's how like they're the people that obviously like that have been like, you know what, we survived this, we survived that, we'll be fine. And then there's people like, I don't know, this seems like it could be kind of long lasting. Because they're even saying about the the second wave, because it's not like chickenpox, get it once and that's it. You can get it a second time, you can get it a third time.
Yeah.
So it's not like you get it and you're immune.
Well, Frankie was kidding around about it back in like February. He had like a really bad like flu symptoms. He had a cough. He had nasal congestions. He looked like death.
Oh really?
And he came over and he did the podcast because like the whole COVID-19 wasn't really going around. And I remember this very specifically because I asked him, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna pick up. You need any? And he's like, nah, I haven't really gone through mine. He's like, I haven't really been hitting it because of this, I'm sick. And I remember him specifically mentioning that he was sick.
Right.
And then, like, after all this has gone down, he's like, I remember being really fucking sick for a while. And like there was this guy at work that was sick for like an entire month, dude. Like before all this COVID started, I even worked with him, and he was like coughing like all in the open. I didn't get sick or nothing, but I remember being around him and be like, man, this motherfucker's sick as shit.
Right, right.
And I don't know if that was like a mild version of it going around and hitting
Right.
people, and maybe it like mutated a bit because they're saying it's a mutation from an animal virus anyway. So who's to say it didn't go
Yeah.
around once and now it's on the second mutation on its second evolution through this fucking.
Well, that's it. Like a lot of people a lot of people don't realize that viruses can mutate as they go. So I mean, you can have something in a mild case and not realize it, and then you sit back and you're like, oh, I had that kind of, but not really. It's because these things change as they go. The protein strands allow the virus to get stronger and stronger. And I'm not I'm not a biologist by any stretch, but if you look into anything that has to do with like viral infections and stuff like that, these things can mutate in the human body. What happens in your body, you can cough onto me, it can change in my body, and I can drop dead because my body is not, they has a different style of mutation than what yours had.
100%.
I mean, I was cracking jokes like an idiot because I'm thinking like, oh, come on, whatever. Someone small way over in China, so people are freaking. I was. It's never gonna get serious. It's never gonna make its way all the way over here. Next thing you know, it's like everything's shut down, everything's all locked down. Like, oh well, I kind of feel like an ass, but
No,
oh
I
well.
remember. I remember my friend talking about it. I was helping him out in the warehouse, and he's like, "Hey, did you hear about this new virus that they're talking about?" He's like, "It's like the flu." He's like, "But it attacks." He's like, "It attacks the respiratory system," or he's like, "It attacks the lungs." And he's like, "From the lungs, it moves to the kidneys." But he's like, "They found out that from the kidneys, it goes back to the lungs." And he's like, "It's really weird." And then like more and more stuff started coming out about it, and then it started coming out that it was from a bat, and then like it started developing more and more, and like more people were getting it, and then they start closing down Italy, they start closing down everything, and they were like, dude, you remember when we were just fucking talking about it from the discovery of it, and then we get put on quarantine because of his girlfriend for 4 days.
Yeah.
Like it really hit home. Like
Well, the thing with how widespread it went, because it was in Italy for what, like mid-February, early March, when when Italy went on lockdown, and Italy had like just taken over having the most cases, and it took them like 6 weeks to overtake China for having the most cases, and then within a week of Italy taking over, the United States was number one.
yeah.
Just to see how fast it can go when things are congested.
No, and it's funny because I was making jokes. I'm like, hey, if I get it, it's gonna be because of you, and it's exactly what happened. His girlfriend came into contact with someone that might have had it. They all turned out negative, but I still got quarantined for 4 days till their medical test came back. So I took it for what it was, and I made the best of it, and I took a 4 day vacation. Well, a 4 day forced vacation. They forced me to take a vacation, which, man, like, I don't know how to feel about it. It's bittersweet. Like, I'm happy I have, and it sucks to talk about it because you know you have your situation, but like, I'm just happy that I have like a job to go back to. They've paid me the 4 days that I was off.
Well,
They
and that's
forced
it,
me to take a
right?
vacation. Like, and it sucks because I'm at work and I'm thinking about like 6.6 million people. I don't know if it was globally or just here in the United States that lost their jobs. Like, this fucking sucks. Like,
That was just the states that I heard.
that's fucking horrible, dude.
Hmm.
Like, people are happy about the stimulus package and being able to stay at home, but they're not. And the people that aren't following the rules.
Well, and it's think about like when you look at something like me, all these people that work in restaurants that all of a sudden they go down to skeleton staffs and they think like, oh, we'll just keep on doing, we'll be fine. Eventually, those places could shut down, and when they shut down, restaurants need customers to remain open. So
Mm-hmm.
if you close down, if you don't own that property, you still pay rent on it, unless
Hey,
your landlord's amazing.
this is gonna affect everybody if it doesn't get better soon. Not only the little, so we're a little business too. The thing is we're a factory and we're in the graphics and we're in making rollers. So like we've kind of been lucky to where we're essential and we haven't had to close down, and we still do a lot of business for as small as we are. But if more businesses keep on getting affected by this and this, more are going to close down. It's going to hurt the economy, and bigger businesses or mid businesses are going to get affected. If mid businesses start getting affected, it's going to affect the higher businesses. It's a trickle up effect. Like they always say, it's a trickle down effect. No. The small businesses will keep the fucking United States going. These billionaires and everyone else are greedy as fuck.
When you start thinking about when you think like if a restaurant closes, that's depending on how big a restaurant is, that could be $2,000 to $4,000 a week in lost profits for a company that's providing goods to that restaurant. You make that be 10 restaurants, all of a sudden that's $20,000 to $40,000 that a company could be losing in providing restaurant. The more and more it goes, like think about McDonald's. As McDonald's started to close down, all of the companies that provide them with this and that, like I think they have their own, but eventually, like what's going to happen with all the events, like something has to happen to those places.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone keeps saying, oh, well, thank God for the truck drivers that are still doing it. Eventually the truck drivers are going to be affected because they're not going to be able to deliver because they're not going to have anywhere to deliver to.
Yeah, well, like
then what?
Smaller businesses are going to start closing down. So that's one avenue that they're not going to be able to deliver to. Once those start going out, they're going to start delivering less, and then the mid tier businesses are going to start feeling it too. Like it's
and that's more lost jobs. Because because I was even saying to my buddy that I was working with, be 2 weeks ago now, when we had 3 shifts. We had a baker, a bagel maker, and then an afternoon shift. We went down from that to 1 8-hour shift. So I said, like, who loses the job? There's 3 people every single day work. Now you're going to say there's only going to be 1. So how do you take hours away from certain? How do you figure out who gets what hours? Do you go seniority? Do you say, hey, do you want 3 shifts, 4 shifts a week? Like how do? And when you go by a company, we had 3 different locations. We had about 18 total employees. Now we are only going to need 6. Like, how can you you can't operate that way? Like that's like. And when we are making, we probably were making by the end of it $500 a day. When you take into consideration wages and expenses for electricity and stuff like that, we were probably walking out in their pockets like $50 in profit. That doesn't keep you afloat.
No.
So, and that's just for us. You start thinking about everybody else. Tim Hortons, they went from, just being able to drive through. So if you don't drive, you just like to walk across the street and get a coffee. Now you can't do that.
That's why I've made sure to keep buying the same amount of toys on this during these hard times off of Amazon to keep the economy stimulated.
That's it. You're gonna get your stimulus package and just like buy $12,000 worth of toys.
Well, with a computer, right?
Yeah.
Computer stuff. No, but I see that as an investment towards the podcast, investment towards me. Like I said, shout outs to all those people downloading. Please share this podcast. All those people listening, all those new listeners, please share this podcast. It'll really help me get more listeners. And like I said, man, hopefully one day make money to where I could share a little bit of money with Ryan to keep him afloat over there in these hard times. But
get me down to Chicago so we can do a live recording.
Yeah, that would be a possibility if we started getting money. Take a Saturday, get over here.
Yeah. Actually, that's the funny thing too. Like, when you're talking about like the stimulus packages, you got to see like the shit show in here in Canada, like for the unemployment insurance and shit like that.
I've been reading your post with other people.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like you go online and they tell you go on, sign up. Perfect. Please wait 10 days, get your confirmation code, and complete your profile. Perfect, done. Go to check my payments. You have to tell us. You have to show us all the places that you've applied to before you get any payments. So I'm like, there's no fucking jobs. Where am I gonna I'll go to that closed restaurant. I'll go to that closed cafe. I'll anywhere that does have jobs. People are already working there. They're not giving them up because they want their jobs. So you take all this time to apply and all this shit, and then. No, sorry, you gotta wait even longer now. It's like, God damn it, But this week, supposedly, everyone that is applied is supposed to start getting $500 a week from the government for minimum 4 months. So hopefully that does start off, because I don't really want to be falling behind on bills and that right now. It's the worst time for this to happen, right? So,
and our apologies. It's been really COVID heavy, but it's really affecting everyone, even this pay-per-view that we're about to get into.
Like once we get into the paper, like if we didn't take half an hour to talk COVID, the podcast would have been probably 30 minutes long, because there's some big touching points, but there's also a lot of what could have been touching points. But
so WrestleMania, let's move on right to bigger and better things.
Gronk?
I was going to try to skip over him and forget about him, but no, you brought it up. Good thing you brought it up. It's definitely a talking point. He definitely ruined the show right off the bat.
I will say, I don't know about you. I really, because the America the Beautiful, they always have like that some celebrity go to sing it. I love the rendition that they did, where they did like the chop up throughout the years, and had that playing. That was a nice little touch that they did.
Mm-hmm. The opening match was good. I don't know if you saw it. It was kind of short. It was Cesaro versus Drew Gulak.
That's the one match I didn't see.
Yeah, that was the pre-show before we had Gronk come on and ruin everything. So we have Cesaro, Gulak. They have like a 5-minute match. Gulak's pretty much getting beat up, but showing off his wrestling style, like his holds and takedowns and stuff like that on Cesaro. Surprised Cesaro didn't have to put this guy over. He usually has to work and put everyone over. Even though Cesaro's a badass and he deserves better, even if it was just Intercontinental level like Dolph or a Miz, but he doesn't even get that. So
I'm surprised, because they gave him the Andre the Giant 2-3. I think he actually was the inaugural Andre the Giant winner, and I thought they were going to go big with him, and instead him and Sheamus are awesome together. I like them as the bar, but like he's that guy that's just like, give him the chance with the U.S. title, give him the chance with the Intercontinental, let him have like a good singles run. Even if you need to, give him like an old school heel manager like Slick, like someone like that, like someone that can like talk smack while he's doing his stuff about how good his client is. Like, actually, there you go, make him a Paul Heyman guy. Mm-hmm. Lesnar's already part-time. Like, you could easily just like throw Heyman out there with Cesaro, and I'm sure Cesaro, he's already over with the fans. The fans want him over more, but he always seems to make the best of the situation he's put in. So why would they do more with him? He's not complaining about wanting more. So if he's happy, I guess it's hard to complain.
Yeah, it seems like he doesn't really complain, because he could definitely go to AEW and be a huge star over there. Look at Brody Lee. You were saying that you hated him. Ryan, send all your hate tweets to Ryan at what's going to be your Twitter, Ryan? What you're going to make?
It's a Full Heel podcast.
Yeah, it's not that I'll forward him to Ryan.
I don't hate him. I'm just confused. Because the little snippets that I've seen of him, he seems to be very Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt style, like the leader of like the occult kind of thing. Like, I don't follow AEW hardcore enough to exactly get the group that he's part of there.
Dark Order.
Yes, but it just seems that he's this leader of this weird faction that, what I see from it, kind of reminds me a little bit of the Wyatt family. So he's like, he left WWE to be put at the next level of WWE in a way. I get it. For him, it's a step up for him, but it just seems like he's almost in the exact same position that he was, or the same character, I should say, not position, same character that he had. And the pointless shots at Vince McMahon and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I don't get, like, for as much as AEW says we're not concerned about WWE, it always seems like their top stars are taking a shot at WWE. So it's like, all right, I get it, but
Yeah, well, I think this was more of a hey, do your thing. What kind of character do you want to do? And
He's like, I got this idea. His name's Bray Wyatt.
yeah, well, no, well, they were gonna bring him in as the Exalted One. This one's kind of I don't know if necessarily it was meant for Luke Harper because the Dark Order has been around since the beginning. They even had the Dark
Right.
Order since before this. It's just they were gonna put in someone in the spot of the Exalted One.
Yeah, because I remember they were talking about Matt Hardy possibly being in it when his contract with WWE was close to expiring. They were talking about he might jump and take that position, and could it be someone that's already in the company?
It
Could it
was
be?
they were teasing at fuck what's his name some Chris not Chris Angels was something Angels one of the guys from SCU I forget his name Christopher Daniels. I don't know why Angels. Christopher Daniels.
Oh,
They
okay.
were teasing that it was Christopher Daniels and he was going to turn his back on SCU. And then people were speculating that it was Matt Hardy. Never really speculating that it was Luke Harper because, well, that's why now he's kind of playing Vince McMahon and playing him as an asshole, kind of.
I had heard a little bit that it could have been one of the two of them because they both kind of jumped at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more like one of those things like, could it be Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper, or Matt Hardy? And then it just seemed like it was nonstop Matt Hardy talk. So I guess they kind of thought like, hey, like they're not really touching on it, but
Yeah, yeah. I think they're just letting him do his own thing because I think he was on the Jericho podcast and he talked about how Vince wanted to do like really shitty gimmicks with the Bludgeon Brothers and he wanted them to do like heavy machinery stuff and that he wasn't having it and that Vince just wanted them to do really stupid stuff and he explains a lot of the things that he was mad about, kind of like the
like
John
the
Moxley one,
revival.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
kind of like the John
Well,
Moxley interview,
and
and
that's the hard thing too. Like it, because it's all backstage stuff, so it's hard to you don't really necessarily know what's true and what's not. You can only take some of these guys at their name or
mhm.
at their word rather.
Yeah,
And
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 perception is reality,
when you
like
do see like some of the stuff that they were doing, like when he came back last year and helped Eric Rowan in that no DQ match. I want to say was it SummerSlam? Forget now, but it was when he made his return as the Bludgeon Brothers, and it looked like he had because there was rumors of him leaving then,
mhm.
and when he came back, I was like, oh, he looks pretty legit. He looks good, and then it all just surfaced again. So obviously there were some backstage issues, but I just hate how when a guy comes out and says, "Oh no, they wanted me to do this," and that's the be all end all. There's no, and again, Vince McMahon does have that track record of terrible ideas. He throws 1,000 ideas at a wall, 10 stick.
No, well, actually, now that we're talking about it, I remember one of the issues that he had too, like because it just wasn't that. It was so he's like, well, what can we do for storyline? You guys aren't using me. You guys don't want to let me go. So what's up? And then he's like, well, Triple H said they could either send me to NXT or they could work something out with New Japan where they'd loan me out to New Japan. And he's like, after those talks, we never had talks about those again. He's like, I'll try to bring it up, and they kind of just brushed it off, and they would never really try to bring it up anymore. He's like, and
Right.
he's like, anything I try to do, he's like, they just weren't having it. And he's like, I asked for my release, and they said it was business. They said they couldn't release me because it was business.
Which is,
They want
and
to keep it for a
it is
reason.
fair because you don't want to let a name guy go to
Hmm.
a rival right away. Like that does make sense. You can't get angry at them for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But
Oh no, I mean
he
like for
can like
him. Like, I mean for him,
he
you can get frustrated, but
yeah.
there's also you have to have that understanding of why they're not letting you go.
Hmm.
Also, but it would have been best for the Exalted One if he took off the hood and it was me, Austin.
It was me all along. I bought the company all quick.
He buys AEW.
Yeah. I don't know if you've checked out any of the AEW shows, but they've definitely known how to do it without the crowd. They make their own crowd with wrestlers. And it
Yeah.
feels like a somewhat regular show. Like the crowd isn't there, but with them yelling and them doing enough with the wrestlers that they have at hand.
From what I've seen, and I haven't seen a whole lot of the empty arena Raws and SmackDowns or AEWs, AEW was doing a better job with it, and I feel like WWE took some of that last night, because I feel like I saw more interaction with the wrestlers. They weren't just doing the in-ring action. They were talking to the commentators. They were yelling at the referee. They seemed to be putting on more of their regular show without the crowd than I had seen. Again, I haven't seen a whole lot, so if they have been doing that kind of stuff the whole time, I do apologize. But it seemed like last night was a bit more of an improvement. Even in the opening match, with the referee was telling when there was all four girls in the ring, you two out now. They're all on the outside of the ring. You two in the ring. Like I didn't see that early on in the empty arena matches. So it is it does make the product feel a little bit better.
Now that you mentioned that second match, because we kind of took a decourse with AEW when I mentioned Cesaro would do great there, then Brody Lee and then Matt Hardy and
right.
This tag team match between Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross taking on the Kabuki Warriors for the Kabuki Warriors Tag Team Championships. We haven't seen the Kabuki Warriors really defend them that much. I think the rumor is Kairi Sane was off getting married, so she had some time off. I think before that she had a little bit of a concussion.
Okay.
But
yeah, because when they said that they won them like 6 months almost ago,
yes.
I was trying to think, because I remember me and you had been talking about when we'd break down one of the pay-per-views that had just occurred, and we'd mentioned how the women's tag team titles weren't on the pay-per-view for some reason, or Asuka was in a match, but she was a singles match with a Hell in a Cell or a Royal Rumble kind of thing. Yeah, so I guess it would make sense if she was out for some time for some personal reason. It would make a little sense, but
yeah, she was off.
For those of you on audio only, that's not COVID.
It might be. Ganja. Who knows? It hasn't been 2 weeks. They might have cleared me, but that son of a bitch might have been laying dormant. Who knows? It's still in me. Like what if it pops out like the fucking...
Like alien? Out of the belly?
Alien? Like one day we're going to be podcasting, it's like... out of my throat. I'm like... 911. It'll be pretty crazy. Are we getting the kiddos in here?
No, I just heard the dog barking, but I don't know if they're home or if they're just going out. I don't know what's going on anymore.
They left already? A while ago?
I thought they did, but they're home now, so I don't know. They might have never left, or they might just be getting back. It's all a mystery to me.
Sorry, I'm adding some graphics. Wrestlemania Part 1. Yeah, so the Kabuki Warriors are taking on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. To me, it was kind of a normal match. There was nothing really special about it. Not a WrestleMania moment.
Well, there was that one part where John Cena showed up.
During this match?
Yeah, the 5-knuckle shuffle there, when that one pinfall attempt I sent you. Come on, when Kairi Sane did that stomp on Alexa Bliss and then sat on her face.
Oh, yeah. When you're like, I wish I was a referee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I remember. I don't know what you're talking about at first.
Like, I gotta slip off for a second here, guys. No, that was yeah.
Fuck, I almost knocked over my open grinder. Oof.
It didn't. It didn't really stand out too much to me. It was a good match, but it was a lot of these matches, actually, I'll say, seemed to be very basic. Mm-hmm. They didn't seem to have like that WrestleMania feel to them. And a lot of that does have to do with the audience. With the audience not there to really, you could tell, and we'll talk about it as we get on. But there were some moments and there were some matches where if the audience was there, things would have been stretched out and milked more. That we didn't have. So.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Ryan. Sorry, I'm focusing the camera.
All good.
A little fuzzy, but it's all good, I guess. This match was all right. It was a Raw. It was a SmackDown match. It was nothing crazy. NXT definitely pulls any of those matches out of the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
15-minute match. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross come away with the titles. Alexa Bliss hits the Twisted Bliss on.
She hit her in the knees too. She missed it.
Yeah, she hit her in the legs. Asuka was thrown into to the into the corner, and she was knocked out of commission, and that's when Alexa Bliss hit her move on Kairi Sane. 1, 2, 3, and they pick up we have new champions for the females.
That Michael Cole, he called it a modified Doomsday Device, but it was a powerbomb. I don't know, but that when I think it was Alexa Bliss was up, Asuka was going for like a powerbomb, and Kairi Sane launched a flying elbow into it. If you go back, they actually showed it in slow motion. Fuck, she got some height, man.
Who, Bliss?
Kairi Sane.
Oh yeah,
when she gets that elbow, man, she was flying up there.
See my collection's growing over there, Ryan?
Oh yeah. Oh, you got some UFC guys there too. I haven't seen those ones before.
Oh yeah, they're kind of like little statue guys. That's
yeah.
So I kind of they're just there. It was some of the first purchases I made. I actually like taking off the belts off of them and putting them on other figs because they came with UFC belts. I have
Brock Lesnar up there with the UFC.
Yeah, I have GSP. I have Vanderlei, John Bones Jones, Mauricio Shogun, and Brock Lesnar. The only ones that didn't come with a belt, I think, were Vanderlei. Yeah, Vanderlei.
Appropriate.
He never had UFC gold.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Beat up Chael Sonnen in a gym.
Yeah. I can't let you get close to me. Get that close to me, bro.
You gotta keep that 6 feet distance.
Yeah, you gotta get this takedown. Let's see. So after the female tag team match, we have Elias taking on King Corbin. So you definitely checked out the segment now where Elias was killed by Baron Corbin, thrown off the ledge.
Kind of was ruined by how well he looked in this one when they were talking about, he fell 15 feet to the cement down below, and then he comes back here just like a raging bull. I feel like they kind of oversold it a little bit before this match, like just before the match when they were going over everything. They were really selling the injuries, and then in this match he just had like the tape on his shoulder and that was it. So I feel like that was a bit of a but I digress.
You're hating, Ryan. You're hating.
I will say this Elias I can get behind 100%.
I've always liked Elias.
I think it was just, it was that guitar gimmick and just playing a song. Like, I get the heel idea of it, but to me it was just less that and more in ring. Yeah, I can definitely get behind him like this, like where he has like that almost seems like anger and rage, and like it's like Palpatine, like let the hate flow through you. Yeah. Let him go and do that night in, night out, and he could be something fun in the future if you use it the right way. But if you don't use it the right way, he's just going to easily fall to be like like your next Damien Sandow kind of thing.
Damien Sandow had some heat on him until the WWE decided to throw some water on it and cool it down.
Yeah, because when they put him in the tag team, that's what killed him. The Rhodes Scholars, but.
Well, when he was with Miz, dude, the crowd was still behind them.
Oh, not Mizdow.
The Miz.
Yeah, Mizdow.
Yeah, it was Mizdow.
Damien Mizdow, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was pretty over with that to the point where they had to put the tag team titles on both of them. And that to a certain extent got Miz over a lot more with the crowd.
Yeah.
Because he played well with it.
They
would boo him, and then Mizdow would pose.
He was one of those weird guys where it's like every time he kind of like when he was like that almost like the Genius and Mr. Perfect and a couple other guys all rolled into one. He was like you hated him and you could have used that, but then they would just put him in a random tag team and they would make him copy like he became like the Miz with a beard, and it's like why? He already has his thing. Let him do his thing. But I don't know. He must have done something backstage that we haven't heard yet.
Yeah, it seems like it because they kind of...
They had no problem getting... They gave him Money in the Bank and then Cena beat him in like 3 minutes. But... Oh, well.
What can you do?
That's it, baby.
Let's see. After the Elias and Baron Corbin match, we had...
Oh, actually, we didn't talk about that match.
Whatever.
We talked about the intro. We even talked about the match itself.
It was an all right match. Nothing too special.
Corbin was good. I liked Corbin antagonizing, getting into with the referee.
Yeah. They definitely utilized that a lot more. Even though, well, I guess you can hear it a lot more because that's kind of Corbin's thing, and you kind of can hear with the crowd and stuff.
And I think that maybe that's what I was missing. Like when I had said that, it seemed to be much more like the earlier empty arena shows seemed to be lacking that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked when he looked at JBL and Cole and said, you better tell everybody that I'm the king and I'm the best or all that stuff. I like that. Like I like the fact that he like. I feel like I didn't see that a lot early on, so it was nice to have that little change of pace and have these guys do a thing like how Elias attacked early on and then making Corbin's unable to even start the match at first, it seemed, and he thought it was going to be a quick one. And then they actually were able to drag it out to be like a 9-10 minute match.
Yeah, how long was that match? Doesn't really matter. It was a 9-minute match. It was a good match. By nothing special, I mean like not WrestleMania quality. I've always enjoyed Corbin as a heel. A lot of people hate him. I think he could put on a good match, and he plays a good heel. Like I said, Elias, we have a heel there as well, but he's the baby face here because
it almost feels like they're trying to make him into a face with Corbin.
But the face for him hasn't really worked.
And and this is what I'm like when I was talking about like how they had 9 matches last night and you're gonna have 9 matches today. Mm-hmm. I feel like you easily would be taking out 6 matches from that and give guys more time. And I think these guys could have had a better match with more time and with the crowd involvement.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that that's just something that it's hard trying to separate what we saw and what we could have seen. It's hard because, like you were saying, like it wasn't a WrestleMania match, and that's like I agree, it was definitely a WrestleMania match, but it definitely had potential to be a lot better if the circumstances were different.
Mm-hmm. So Elias survived the fall, and he came back and he beat Baron Corbin. So he picks up the win after a quick roll up. Baron Corbin is yelling at the ref.
Well, I liked it too because he did Corbin with the foot on the ropes, and the referee's calling like, "Oh, you're cheating! You can't put your feet on the ropes." And then he rolls up and he grabs the tights, and he's like, come on! Like you stopped me from cheating, but you let him cheat."
Yeah,
I like how they did that little role reversal. That was a nice little play.
After this, we had Becky Lynch defending her title against Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler is coming up from NXT, ex-Cage fighter. For those of you guys that don't know.
Ultimate Fighter member.
Yeah, Ultimate Fighter, Ronda Rousey friend. She's been dominant in NXT forever. She moved up and dominated the Elimination Chamber, which awarded her this match against Becky Lynch.
I was so excited too for this match before everything happened, and man, I feel like this match had the potential to be. I don't want to go too high. It probably could have been one of the top matches on the event, and it unfortunately, and I say it with all due respect to both girls because I like them both a lot, it ended up being just a big crock of crap. Like it was just, there was nothing to this match at all. It was.
I think it kind of ended up. Yeah, no, I'm good. I think it kind of ended abruptly.
Yeah, I almost wondered if there was a mistake. Like, I wonder if she was supposed to like kick out of that. Mm-hmm. I guess time shows that it wasn't, like, because their timing was for the event overall was right on.
This doesn't seem like a WrestleMania main event. I can see it as a different pay-per-view main event where they would lead up to this. Like, maybe just give her the match right away coming up from NXT because she was so dominant.
I'm surprised that they didn't do a stipulation of a submission match based off both their finishers also.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had you're right. You're 100% right because we have this girl with the disarmer. It's pretty much an armbar.
Yeah, the disarmer and
and then Shayna has her rear naked choke, but she also does arm stuff. And
they could have had a badass submission match.
Yeah, 100% they could have. And you have the whole gimmick of her being a cage fighter.
Mm-hmm. And again, this does go to the whole empty arena. Like, they could have had segments of showing Becky Lynch training, like within an MMA gym, perhaps, and they could have done different things. But we don't even know what the original plans were, because everything happened like that we just went from full arenas to we're going to keep going as best we can, and all the storylines just kind of stopped and dissipated into what they are today. So who knows what their original plans could have been. But yeah, like Baszler it started off just like a bit of a brawl. Becky kind of got some action in here and there, but then Baszler just dominated her for probably 4 or 5 minutes before the match ended.
Yeah. It was almost as long as Elias and Corbin. Elias and Corbin was just a regular match.
Watching it, Elias and Corbin felt a lot longer than this one did.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it seemed like if you went to the kitchen and get a snack, it was over. It seemed like a very, very quick match. I don't know why it felt that way. Maybe because Becky was getting roughed up outside, and there's a lot more of just her being down.
Mm-hmm. To me, it seemed like a setup match, like for something in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, this is
maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they don't want to give up on this storyline yet, and they just want to keep something special for when
SummerSlam
they do have an audience. Yeah. I mean the first thing I thought of was when Becky won it was just the Survivor Series Bret Hart and Stone Cold from '96 when Austin had the $1 million dream on Hart, and Hart reversed it into the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Exact same style finish. Yeah, was what it was.
Yeah. So Becky Lynch retains, adds another one to the list. That's another one.
Champion for what, a year tomorrow, I think it is?
Yeah, whenever the last WrestleMania happened.
Yeah, it's either tomorrow or maybe Tuesday, whatever the anniversary would be.
It's gonna be though, for sure.
It has to, yeah, unless she loses it tomorrow night on Raw or something.
Yeah, which I doubt it. Unless Ronda comes back and they make her lose it to Ronda. That's the only way I see it happening. I don't think so though.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think it was the plan to have it on her maybe a year.
Yeah, it kind of caught me because when I was watching the match and I was thinking about how long she's had the title, I was trying to think, did she drop it at some point and win it back right away? I was trying because it seems like
remember she was Becky 2 belts and she lost one of them.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened. I think when she lost that one she lost it to Charlotte, who lost it to Flair, I think it was, or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. Maybe that's what happened.
They're actually releasing an Ultimate Edition of Becky with the man T-shirt, the both belts, 2 different heads.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like that.
With the semi-truck?
Yeah, right. That was kind of weird, the semi-truck with no fans.
See, that was everything too. Yeah, that would have been such a badass entrance if they.
Yeah, that seemed like the fans would have been like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that was like John Cena back when he was just starting to get big, when he had like those pretty like I think it was in Detroit where he was like speeding down the street and then he was all of a sudden right at the arena. It seemed reminiscent of that.
Was that the same night he smacked Stephanie on the butt?
No, I don't think so.
He did that though.
Yeah, he did.
I remember.
And Hunter was like, "Okay, Mr. Cena, you can have whatever you want."
Yeah, and then Vince is like, "Make out with my daughter, Eric."
Oh, Vince.
All right, let's move on to the next match. The next match is Sami Zayn taking on Daniel Bryan. So I'll let you go first. But I had high hopes for this match, so you kind of know where I'm going with it.
Yeah, it was a letdown. I don't know if it's the fact that it's both Cesaro and Shinsuke in his corner. I like when I don't know. I don't know. Like, I like Sami Zayn a lot. I like that he's finally got a title on him. I don't know what they're doing with having like we talked about Cesaro earlier. I can see Cesaro being in his corner. Shinsuke is top level talent. Could be fighting for the title at any pay-per-view, and he's seconding Sami Zayn now. To me, that is kind of weird. I loved the heel of sliding in and out of the ring, taking the 10 count. I like that beginning of the match seemed like, okay, this is kind of, I like this. This is a very, very old school heel. You can't take the title from me if I lose by count out. And then having Daniel Bryan get stopped by the bodyguard. That's cool. I don't mind that. But then from after that, once Daniel Bryan got his hands on him, it was just, you're going to be my whipping boy for however long, and then you're going to have one move of offense, and that's the end of the match. And it was just like I don't get it. Daniel Bryan went from flying outside and taking two guys out, and then he climbs the turnbuckle and takes a boot to the face, and that's a wrap. Like, it's like when you're playing the video games and you give yourself 3 finishers to start the match, and you set it to easy, and your opponent to like the red, and so all you have to do is hit one move and you can pin him. That's what that match seemed like. It's like, oh, I'll let you rough me up for a little bit, and I can just hit X whenever I feel like it and end this match.
Yeah, it was a weird match. So the reason I'm pissed about this is because we've seen Sami Zayn put on incredible matches in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Daniel Bryan put on some of the best matches, and he's considered, even at this time, at such a young age, one of the greatest wrestlers of his time or whatever.
Yeah.
Looking at it on paper, you could have had a WrestleMania Classic with these two.
Even that promo that the Sami Zayn cut earlier in the show, he said something along the lines of like, I'm going to do something that few people have done. I'm walking into WrestleMania with the title, and I'm walking out with the title. Mm-hmm. Like, you're building like, okay, he means business. Like, this is like, it was really like building this match up for this. This is going to be like, can't miss.
And it did miss, in my opinion, especially when you have two wrestlers of their caliber for an Intercontinental Championship. Even the way you took it off your previous champion, they took it off of Braun in a very cheap way.
Yeah.
It was a 3-on-1 handicap match. Sami Zayn picked up the title. Braun took it off of Shinsuke, all quick about it.
Right.
It's just a really shit way that they've been treating that title. And then I'm like, oh, well, this, right, if it led up to a great match between Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn, like I said, on paper, it should have been a great match. And it wasn't. It was dog shit.
Especially like we had been talking, well, I don't know if it was through the group, but I know we've talked on it in past episodes, but WrestleMania 3 was Savage and Steamboat, with was it 8 with Piper and Bret Hart, 10 with Shawn Michaels and Razor. There's been ladder matches in recent memory. The Intercontinental title has a lot of special moments at WrestleMania, and this one seemed destined to just be the next installment of it. And I agree with what you say about these guys and their performances, and how they seemed like two puzzle pieces that fit together and would just give you the final piece of the puzzle, or usually the whole pitch, I should say. And somehow those pieces were from different puzzles, and the picture wasn't complete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could have done a lot better, and they didn't. I think they dropped the ball.
Definitely, like I said, it seemed like Sami Zayn was getting stomped on, he was getting kicked, he was getting just like whatever Daniel Bryan wanted to do, he was able to do, and then one kick to the jaw, and that was a wrap. And it just, and that's the second time that Daniel Bryan's lost in a really weird way, but by a kick, because the other one being Sheamus.
He gets hit with the haluva kick off of the top rope. Just it was like I said, I didn't like it. They could have done a lot better, and they just
Could have been a lot better.
Next match after that, we had the ladder match. We had one half of every tag team match that was supposed to be in here because of the virus. So we have Kofi for the New Day, one of the Usos, Jimmy Uso for the Usos, and we have John Morrison for the Miz tag team that he's formed with the Miz. And the Miz has come down with symptoms, so the Miz can't be there.
And I think what they should have done was maybe make it I guess you don't have too many bodies out there, but they've done 8-man ladder matches before. So why not have 7-man, have New Day, have the Usos, throw in another tag team, and John Morrison has to defend them by himself. You want to keep them on him? Okay, fine. But if not, he can lose them to a, and you have the argument of, well, of course he lost. He was by himself. Mm-hmm. And you could still have a good 3-way ladder match with an additional guy trying his hardest to keep his belts for him and his partner. It just makes no sense for me to have 3 guys fighting for tag team titles. Mm-hmm. It just the ladder match itself, there was a lot of really good ladder spots. Again, just when you think you've seen it all, they do come up with something new.
Yeah, John Morrison with that. So they put one of the spots that really stood out to me was
I know
John
exactly
Morrison,
where you're going.
Yeah, hitting his whatever you call his finisher, that spinning shit off that he does.
It's like the shooting star superstar press, or
he had one of the Usos on a ladder that was bridged out in the corner of the ropes, and he gets on the post and he does whatever his fucking finisher is.
I mean, even if he was on the post, like you said, but even if he was on the top rope, the difference in height isn't that much. Mm-hmm. And for him to go from, say, top rope to middle rope and still hit that move that perfectly was amazing.
Yeah, there was no space in between him and the Uso for him to be doing all those fucking twirls and spins.
When you see him on the ring post and he I thought he was just gonna do like maybe like a senton or like a swanton or something along those lines. But when you see him move his foot back, you're like, oh, he's trying to build up momentum with no give, mm-hmm. and he has no room to do what he's about to do, and he fucking nailed it perfectly. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen someone do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
And there were even like some other points where it's like when the Uso and was it no that was the finish. I forget who it was. They were on the outside of the ring and they bridged it between the barrier and the ring, and it was reminiscent to me of when Jeff Hardy did the Swanton to Edge at 23 through the ladder on the outside. Uh-huh. I was expecting something along those lines, which we obviously didn't get. The ladder didn't break, but yeah, it was like John Morrison doing the tightrope across to get to Kofi. I think that was that spot. I think the Uso was on the ladder, and you thought he was going to get Kofi was going to splash him, but instead John Morrison runs the top rope, which was amazing in itself. Takes Kofi's finisher off the top rope, and then Uso gives him the splash, which was like they put on a hell of a match. They did. Like don't take anything the wrong way. It was just the idea of having 3 guys fight for the tag team title to me just seemed a little weird.
I didn't enjoy the ending of this.
Where they all had it and they were fighting back and forth.
Yeah, and
there was an I forget. I want to say Jericho was involved, and I forget who he was fighting. This got to go back 10, 15 years. But it was a ladder match, and they were both on top of, and they were fighting for the title, and they were both pulling, and one guy just kind of fell, and he had the belt on him, so that's how he won. It was almost an identical ending, except it was a 1-on-1 as opposed to a triple threat. But yeah, it was really bizarre having the three of them just all trying to pull the titles down, and just have it that John Morrison slipped and fell. Like, because it's like, well, why didn't Kofi just let go and let those two fight, and he could have just grabbed the titles? Why didn't Jimmy Uso do the same thing? It's like, why did they have to have that piece of gold?
Yeah.
When it ended up meaning that all you actually really needed was the title the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But weird ending. I don't know why they would keep it on Miz and Morrison, knowing what we know about the virus. The Miz is probably not going to be back for 3 weeks. Probably, if he wants to come back that quick.
I think it tested negative, though.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Okay.
I read something that all the people tested negative in the WWE.
Okay, that's good then.
He was just
okay. So then, So then I retract that statement. Then if he will be back sooner, then I guess that would be why they kept it on him.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that they took it off.
The one thing I was realizing too, when you take a look at this early parts, the first few matches, we had the main event from last year with Becky Lynch was in the second match. You had Kofi, who walked out with the title over Daniel Bryan last year. Both those guys were on early. Like, it's crazy how quickly a year can change in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah. Match after this, we have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins in a no disqualification. Well, a regular match that eventually turns into a no disqualification match. I guess we'll get into how it does that. This was probably in my opinion, the best match.
I'd say it's the best match, and I'll get into it when we get to the main event of last night. Mm-hmm. Why I say this one's the best. I like the smack talk. I like, even if there was a crowd, you should pick up when the wrestlers are screaming at each other because of the cameras and the mics and all that stuff. So to me, that wasn't something that stood out, because you still would have heard Seth taunting Kevin Owens and Kevin Owens giving it back and whatnot. But these two guys, like, when I forget the name of the move, but when Seth did like that, almost like the Steiner driver kind of move, but it was instead of being a pile driver, Kevin Owens lands on his back. When they did that move on the apron, mm-hmm. That was a badass move.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like the fact that they put on a regular wrestling match between the both of them, where it's just regular rules.
And it was a good part one of that match was just as good. They would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have still been on the upper part of better matches of this card. The latter match probably would have beaten it just because of the gimmick, but that's why we have this one winning after the fact, because Seth Rollins decides he's like, fuck this shit, I don't care, there's nothing on the line here, mm-hmm. and he hits Kevin Owens with the bell.
I like hearing that ding.
Yeah, the ding off the bell. They call for a DQ, and Seth starts to leave, saying that he doesn't care. He could have the victory. And Kevin Owens gets up, grabs the mic, and says, fuck that, you're not getting in the way that easily. You're a little bitch. And then that leads Seth Rollins to get pissed and accept
let's finish this.
Yeah. And he challenges him to a no DQ match, which Seth Rollins accepts.
And then from there, it was just basically just fighting on the outside for 3-4 minutes, and that before rolling it into the ring. I like the chair spots. Not the chair. The chair spots were good, but the stairs. What I wanted to say, Kevin Owens took the stairs pretty stiff, but he made it look really good.
Do you remember the WrestleMania tie-in spot?
Yes.
Pretty cool.
See, that was the one thing where I was thinking, like, if there was a crowd, all I could see when Owens was up there, all I could see was Shane McMahon on top of the Hell in a Cell looking down the Undertaker. Mm-hmm. Very similar. You're on top of this structure, whatever. You're looking down, but there was no one for him to milk it the moment for. So he just gets up there. This is what WrestleMania moment. Yeah, and then he jumped. Like, I feel like that could have been something where it's like the audience is like, oh shit, and you have the commentators, don't do it, Kevin. It's not worth your career. Like really building it up, but there was no need to because there was nothing happening. That's one of those moments that was awesome to see, but it could have been just that touch better if it wasn't an empty arena situation. All I could think about after WrestleMania, not to sidetrack too much, but watching the Kurt Angle HBK Untold when they show Shawn Michaels doing the leapfrog kind of flip onto Kurt Angle when he's on the table and the table doesn't break. Mm-hmm. My first thought was, God damn, if Kevin Owens jumped off that thing and that table didn't break, that would have been a fucking spot and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, that table, but no, they made it work well. Got him into the ring and I didn't like the final ending with the stunner and the pin. I think it would have been, I mean, obviously Seth Rollins was dead at that point.
Yeah, it was already fucked up, bro.
But I thought maybe they would have went for the pop-up powerbomb finish, but stunner's just as good. Mm-hmm. And Rollins can sell a good stunner. I wouldn't mind seeing Rollins taking the stunner from Austin back in the day.
Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next match after this is Braun Strowman taking on Goldberg for the Universal Championship.
Next. What was it? 7 moves total in this thing?
I don't understand what they're doing. So, quickly.
Spear, pin, kick out.
Well, I want to go a little bit before this. So, a couple weeks before this, or a month before this, Braun Strowman takes the title off of Shinsuke. Sami Zayn takes the title off of Braun like that. And now Braun Strowman is winning the Universal Championship. What the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm. John Cena and The Fiend tonight better have a 5-star instant classic to justify taking the title out. Like, I've gone back and forth on The Fiend character. I've made it known that I wish they'd used Bray Wyatt more and kind of dropped The Fiend, kind of like they do with Finn Balor and the Demon.
Yeah.
But they took the title, and again, Roman Reigns was supposed to be there. There was supposed to be a whole lot of different things happening. I get that. If this was at Raymond James Stadium, there's a 100% chance that Goldberg's entrance would have been longer than this match was, just because of the walk he would have had to make.
Dude, this match is total garbage.
Like I said, spear, pin, kick out. Spear, reverse the jackhammer into a power slam. Power slam, 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. With everything that was happening, you might as well just kept the title on Goldberg. You already have Brock Lesnar that doesn't show up to 90% of the events. Do the same with Goldberg. Like, just interchange it in some which way, shape, or form. Lesnar's probably not going to be the champion after tonight, so you're going to have a champion available for multiple shows in Drew McIntyre. Just keep the title on Goldberg at that point. Why are you putting that shit out there? This match was Goldberg beat The Fiend in 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. This match was shorter than that one. Like, as impossible as that seems. It was. Why could they put? Like, I messaged you last night. They put the title on Braun with that shit show when he was red hot a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and they didn't want to do it then. When he could have had a fantastic match with Lesnar. You have Lesnar squashing. Now you have a chance to have him in like a good match against maybe The Fiend. Now we're going to give him Goldberg, and we're going to have it be not even a dumpster fire, because that's a disrespectful term to dumpsters. Mm-hmm. Like, that was like, I get it. I guess that Goldberg's not good in the long-term plans, but that's what make it a triple threat match with somebody else. Sprinkle something else in there. And maybe have Goldberg just destroyed, because I know he's going to get gassed early. It's not a surprise, or it's not a shock that Goldberg does gas quickly, and that's why he has fast matches.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know, like, if you went to go and make yourself some popcorn in the microwave, you missed the whole match.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing. There was 2 moves: spear and power slam. There were multiple of both, but that's it. Like, I don't even think a punch was thrown.
No.
Like, I don't get what. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
You make me smash my computer. I'm so angry.
After that, we had The Undertaker taking on AJ Styles in a boneyard match, whatever that means. I guess we found out.
That was buried alive.
Yeah, buried alive in a graveyard.
That's all it was. Watching it back, it was a lot better than I initially thought.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it about 3 times now.
Yep, I watched it once last night. I wasn't crazy about it. Watched it again, and I liked it a little bit more. And this morning, I realized that my only massive issue with it is it was like watching an episode of like CSI back in the day. Mm-hmm. It was Hollywood camera work, and it took away from the match for me. I've seen matches outside in random locations before, and the camera had that's still like in the arena quality, which seems more real to me. I don't know, like the editing, the touching up into that, when Undertaker chokeslammed AJ Styles off the roof, and then you see AJ Styles laying on the ground, and Undertaker's boot just drops down. That was pure Hollywood to me. That was not wrestling. That was not entertainment even. It was just, hey, we need to do something different outside the arena. Let's film it this way and do that and this and that. And
yeah, no, it's pretty bad.
I think it was the filming was I think the filming hurt that match more than anything else. Hurt that match.
It is what it is. I don't know what to say about it. It's really weird.
I think because we've seen Taker go have even later in his career, Shawn Michaels. I mean, that was 10 years ago, but he was still mid to late 40s then. Put on a fantastic match. CM Punk, great match. Lesnar, he did go to the hospital after the Lesnar match, but comes back and he still has a couple okay matches at WrestleMania after that with Bray and even with Shane to an extent. And then the last 2 Manias that he's been in with John Cena and AJ Styles, it just seemed like they're trying to make him be 25 to 30 again, which he's not. Like, I don't know. They're making him seem like they're going to give him a big push. I don't know.
People seem to really have liked it. I don't know what to think about it yet. It was kind of weird, like I said. I've seen it 3 times. People seem to think like it's the best thing that they've done in the last 10 years. Those are the reviews I've seen.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying it was the best thing of the whole pay-per-view. And it wasn't. It was definitely one of Taker's... Well, the Roman Reigns match was ugh. The John Cena match was ugh. So if you want to go back to WrestleMania 33, I think it was 33. I think he missed a year in there. You want to go back a couple of years. It was his best WrestleMania match in a while. I'll give it that. When Taker was in the grave and then he was behind AJ Styles, they've done that kind of stuff before where he would be under the ring and the next thing you know, he's at the entranceway. They've done these things before. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was just the whole match being filmed off location. Had it been a buried alive match where it started in the ring, like the I don't want to say traditional because they're gimmick matches, but where you start outside the ring and you make your way to the gravesite and you bury your opponent. If you want to do something like that? Cool. I'm down with that. That's fine. but having the whole thing set there seemed very weird.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a weird match. WrestleMania Part 2 is going to start like in an hour or so. I need to get my shopping done. I was going to get into the card coming up, but we'll save that for Tuesday and give you our thoughts about that and what Raw wrapped up. Yeah, because I got to go do stuff right now. I got to cook. I got to shop. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, we'll get into the card next week. Part 2 of WrestleMania. It's a really weird one, guys, but bear with us.
I'm hoping that we get some good stuff tonight. I'm hoping to
save the best for last.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they take what they had last night and they build off it, realizing, okay, you know what? I'm expecting John Cena and Bray Wyatt to be very similar to The Undertaker, AJ Styles, because they are both going to be filmed off-site. Mm-hmm. So I'm expecting the filming to be very similar than the Funhouse match. But I'm hoping that Charlotte and Rhea Ripley can have a good one. I'm hoping that McIntyre and Lesnar can have good. I'm hoping that we see some good matches, despite dealing with what we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could. That's all we can be is hopeful that we get a better one than yesterday, I guess.
And just remember, if you don't want to watch WrestleMania, there's not a lot of sports you can watch unless you got, DVDs or a platform of some kind to watch old school stuff. You're not seeing anything else live except for WrestleMania tonight.
So go ahead and download the podcast and listen to the podcast instead.
There you go.
I love you guys. Ryan, thanks a lot for helping me out. I'm going to figure out more of this computer stuff and download more stuff. I don't know. I'm really ripped.
For the next 4 months, like I said, just put the bat signal up and I'll be here, put no content for you.
All right, cool. Hopefully we beat this coronavirus. Hopefully it dies with warm weather. We'll see. See you guys next time on the Full Wheel Podcast. Peace out, guys.
You're already fucked up.